Suck on that, Henry. Troll-ass mother humper.
If A.J. Brown wants him, then so do I. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here. Oh, you know I'm thinking about back-to-back mother humper. That's right, back-to-back Super Bowls. And why not? Why can't the Eagles go back-to-back? I'm sorry, they're young, they're talented, they've already won, and with the salary cap now moving up and going up, yes, they are going to be able to make moves, and it's going to be another offseason where Howie Roseman double moonwalks the rest of the league's ass. No question about it. Now, we got a couple interesting things going on. First thing, you guys already probably know this. The Pound Saints are hiring Eagles quarterback coach Doug Nussmeier as offensive coordinator. This we talked about a few days ago. It has been finalized today. So the Eagles are going to be in pursuit of a quarterback coach. We'll see that. We'll see what happens. But listen, I like Kellen Moore a lot. I do. But leave our guys alone. No more guys. All right, that's it. Also, this is kind of interesting. Adam Schefter's reporting this. Eagles Pro Bowl center Cam Jurgens underwent a back procedure Tuesday in Los Angeles with Dr. Robert Watkins to alleviate nerve pain per source. Doctors believe he'll make a full recovery expected by July in time for training camp. Jurgens is headed to the final season of his rookie contract. Here goes another guy. You know, when we talk about, first of all, when you talk about guys that toughed it out, I mean, you look at what he did. You look at what A.J. Brown did. You look at what Landon Dickerson did. To play through the pain that they played through in the championship game, and then to go out there and play in the Super Bowl the way they did, absolutely tremendous. So hopefully Cam Jurgens will get healthy, and I think being that he's in the final year of his contract, I expect the Eagles. See, I think with this extra salary cap, as many of you guys know, the salary cap is going to go up this year. I'm hearing crazy numbers. I can't tell you honestly what it is. I've heard anywhere from $25 million per team to somewhere where it's like $5 to $6 million per team to $9 million to $25 million. I'm hearing all over the place. We will know next week. The NFL said they're going to put up exactly how much more the teams will be getting. So we'll find out. But you know, I think the first scenario for Howie is going to be, got to get Cam Jurgens. You probably want to give him a contract, right? You got to get Zach Bond done. Zach Bond, number one priority. It does not change. But you got to take care of your own guys is basically what I'm saying. That's going to be the first and the foremost priority for this team and what they're going to do. Now, once that's in place and once you've taken care of your guys, the question is, what are the Eagles going to do? And I would say 80% of the people that have sent me DMs the last week to 2 weeks, they all talk about the Super Bowl, but then they also talk about Myles Garrett. People either want him or they don't want him. Me, I'm all for going out and getting Myles Garrett. I think Myles Garrett would change your defense and take it to another level. Assuming you have Zach Bond back. You got to get Zach Bond back. But you add Myles Garrett to that defensive line with Jalen Carter, with Nolan Smith, with Jordan Davis. Because I'm telling you right now, Jordan Davis, he turned the corner in the NFC Championship game. He turned the corner. You could see it. The sack he had on Daniels, that play he makes, they show him on the sideline. I think the dude was headbutting people without a helmet on. But he looked like, man, I needed that. And he was fantastic in the Super Bowl, and he was fantastic the rest of that NFC Championship game. I think he's turned a corner. But when you look at that line with Myles Garrett, it would absolutely be, they would be a juggernaut. They would be a juggernaut. And listen, I'm not the only one saying this, okay? A.J. Brown recently has said the same thing. Okay? He went on a podcast called Kicking It with D, and he said,
money don't matter. You could bring anybody on your
got an
team.
unlimited salary cap is off.
Honestly, that's what it be feeling like over here. I'll say Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett.
Oh my God!
Adding him with Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what's going to happen with Josh Sweat.
So I'll tell you this right now. If A.J. Brown's okay with it, Philly 500's okay with it. In reason, I'm okay with it, okay? Now, when you look at Myles Garrett and you look at the betting odds for Myles Garrett, right now, Washington, the Commanders, are the favorites to land him. And to me, that's the team you've got to worry about, okay? You got Myles Garrett plus 300. The Eagles are 2. They're number 2 at plus 450. Then you got him staying with the Browns at plus 500. So the Eagles in this odd have better chance to get him than him staying in Cleveland. All right, that's kind of crazy. But one team you don't see on there is who? Oh, you don't see the Cowboys on there. That's right. Let Mark Holmes make his videos about the Cowboys are going to do this, the Cowboys are going to do that, the Cowboys are doing this and that and that and this, and then they'll do nothing. And that's the way it's going to be. No question about it. Now, I think Myles Garrett would be a great addition, and I think the Eagles should pursue it. But I do have limitations onto what I'm trying to do. Okay, first off, I'm not giving you any young players, all right? I went on Cilio's show yesterday, and the question was, would I give Cooper DeJean up or Quinion Mitchell, or which young player would I be willing to part ways with in order to get Myles Garrett? None of them. Myles Garrett is 29 years old. He's going to be 30. All right? I'm not giving you a young, talented piece like that. Now, if you want like Kenny Pickett and somebody like that, okay. But none of my stars, none of my starting young defensive players, it's not happening. It's just not going to happen. And the other thing with Myles is this: I'm not giving a bunch of first-round picks for him. I'm just not doing it. Okay, I'll do something like this. Would be what I would do for Myles Garrett. Okay, I would be willing to do a first this year, a second next year, and like a fourth or something like that. Or I would do a second this year, give you a first next year, and then like a fourth or something mid-round. But I'm not giving like a bunch of first-round picks. Now, people will talk and say, well, oh yeah, but you look at what the Bears gave the Raiders for Khalil Mack. Yeah, but Khalil Mack was 27. I think there's a gigantic difference between a guy being 27 and 28 years old and going to be 30. I just do, okay? I think that's a big difference. So I think at that 30-year-old line, to me, that's where you kind of got to draw the line where, listen, we'll take a guy and we'll go out and we'll get him, but we're not going to overpay. We're not going to give you a ridiculous amount of compensation for him, 30 or above, unless it's like a quarterback or something. But usually, I think once you hit 30, I think the value of a player, I'll take him. I'll take a player 30 years old, but I'm not going to overpay for him. I'm not, especially when you have Nolan Smith. You have Jalix Hunt, and I'm a big believer in Jalix Hunt, okay? I said this when they drafted him. There was something about that kid. I think he's going to be a star. And if you look at him in the playoffs, you look at him in the Super Bowl, he got better, and he got better, and he got better, okay? That's what he's done. So this kid is going to be a player. I'm perfectly content with going into the draft and taking the best defensive pass rusher I can. I'm okay with that, or going after Max Crosby, or Travon Walker would be a guy who I think we talked about him before in the offseason. He's a guy that might wind up getting moved with Jacksonville, and you don't know what's going to happen in Jacksonville with all the new coaching and everything there. But he could be a guy that you could get who's younger, who's cheaper, who would fit right in. I don't think the Eagles don't need Myles Garrett to go back to Super Bowl or to have a good defense. They don't. All right? They get Myles Garrett, it just goes to another level. That's all. And I'm all for that. but not at the expense of everything. You know what I mean? I'm not giving you young players because some of the rumors are they want picks and they want a young player. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I can survive without him. Would I like to have him? Would that defensive line be nasty? Yes, it would. And the other reason why I would like to get him, and one of the other reasons I wouldn't mind getting him, is because if you get him, you take him from Washington. It's like a double impact. You know what I mean? You're weakening Washington while you're strengthening yourself. That's what you would do if you get him. Because I think he's going to Washington. If I had a bet, I would bet Washington. I think there's a good chance. They've got a lot of money under the cap, and they want to come after the Eagles. So it would not surprise me one bit that's where he ends up. However, they don't have Howie Roseman. And that's the problem with the rest of the league. They don't have Howie Roseman. And, we're going to talk about Howie, and we're going to talk a lot more about Howie in upcoming videos and why it matters so much this all season. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie vision. Of course it is. We're all just living in it. I tell you why I feel bad for Mark. I went on Dan Silio's show yesterday, right? He's like, yeah, I didn't want to bring Mark on. He can't take much more of this. See, the guy has lost his mind. He does 8 videos a day talking about how Jerry Jones is a horrible owner, how they do this, they screw everything up. And then he defends the coaches they get, the players that they have on their team, and he always protects Dak. Do you believe, despite everything that has happened with Dak having a bad year, then getting hurt, right? Mark always likes to change history. It's all of a sudden, it's like, well, Dallas had nobody and Dak got hurt. No, Dak was stinking it up before he got hurt. He was stinking it up before he got hurt. Now he's coming back next year and they're close to the Eagles. That team couldn't be further away. I'm telling you right now, Dallas ain't even hitting the playoffs this year. They're not sniffing the playoffs. Denzel Washington out. That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.